we've heard this morning, the EU's new trade strategy puts at risk not only the livelihoods of millions of people in the developing world, but it also constitutes a very serious threat to social justice and sustainable development within the EU itself. And at its heart, basically, is an aggressive agenda of corporate self-interest. It's about forcing market opening, it's about gaining access to resources by whatever means, it's about ensuring the competitiveness of European corporations, whatever the cost. I think we urgently need to replace the goal of global competition with one of global cooperation. We need to investigate how best to adapt our economic models in order to seriously address poverty and inequality, climate change, environmental degradation. And that means cooperating globally for the best way to organise our economic activity so that it's less dependent on resource consumption and produces more social satisfaction beyond simple consumerism. The elements of such a global cooperation strategy that we want to see would include things like local sourcing for local consumption being protected and encouraged. I think we would want to challenge very much the idea of global Europe, which basically says that we have Asia for our consumer goods, we have Latin America to feed the world, Europe's going to provide the services, the US is going to provide the financial power, Africa is the source of cheap commodities, and that's basically the vision that DG Trade has. We would fundamentally, obviously, challenge that and talk much more about self-reliance, local production for local needs, and so forth. Fundamentally, though, what all of this is about protecting policy space in the EU and in partner countries, crucially, to make new paths to sustainable economic development possible. Social and environmental rules shouldn't be regarded as barriers to trade. No trading partners should be pressured to commit to rules of public procurement and investment freedom or service liberalisation. Basically, they should have the policy space to make their own decisions. Now, that is a far cry, of course, from the trade scenario set out by DG Trade's Global Europe strategy. But since there are already so many fault lines within the European institutions themselves, I think it is just possible that with some judicious lobbying, some judicious peaceful direct action from the outside, we might just be successful in replacing this old orthodoxy with a much newer, smarter, fairer trading system. And I thank you very much for your part in helping to bring that about.